My name's Susie.
A whole number of people were sitting outside the court, just a few yards away from here, holding placards saying jurors have the right to convict according to their conscience.
And what's more, that jurors deserve to hear the whole truth. There is an oath taken by people in court that they will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What's happened recently is that witnesses and defendants have been prohibited by judges from telling their truth, from explaining their motives, from giving the information which makes it understandable why they have done things which are deemed to be disruptive to the system we live in, whether it's about traffic or whether it's about whatever it is, whether it's about airports, roads, arms factories. The things that we can see are morally wrong in many ways, including the potential extinction of all life on Earth, are not deemed to be relevant and part of the truth. And that, to me, is an absolute dereliction of the system of justice that we're supposed to have. So therefore I was sitting there today holding a placard which said juries deserve to hear the truth. I was also holding a placard which said, with Amy Pritchard's photo on, she was sentenced to 10 months in prison because she refused to be quiet and do as I think was who basically I think it must have been contempt of court that in the end, I'm not quite sure which exactly was the charge that she was for which she was sentenced, because she was being prohibited or prevented from telling her truth, and that is completely goes against the system of justice we have. We're supposed to have democracy and justice. Democracy means that we can protest, and that protest should not be, making a protest happen should not be counted as conspiracy. However it is, there's people now in prison 4 or 5 years for conspiracy, and a 22-year-old prison for 4 years for conspiracy, for being on a Zoom call. That's just I won't say insane, it's so unjust, it's so disproportionate, and it's cruel. I would say that approach is evil, and it's the full force of the law is being used in a disproportionate way against people that want to disrupt a system which makes a vast amount of money for a few and leaves the rest of us with feeling helpless and enraged and wanting to do something to rebalance. And what happens at the moment, the rebalancing is being used to put people in prison in a disproportionate way. What I think is interesting today was with the photos. That's the first time I've sat with the photos, and I think the response of people was different. And I also think that with the circumstances of rioters, with violent rioters in the last week, who magistrates have sentenced to a few months, and one of them a couple of years, compared to someone on a Zoom call organising for a potential for disrupting a motorway, when we know motorways are disrupted all the time by accidents, by roadworks, by all of those things, wide loads even. That actually the disproportion is so spectacularly I can't even think of the right word, but it just shouts at you the disproportion of what's going on now. So that's why I'm there, is to say we need a just justice.
How did you expect today to
I wasn't sure. I mean, having sat here before when there were loads of police, there were 5 vans of Territorial Army last time I sat outside Southwark. One time when I was outside the Inner London Crown Court, we were threatened with arrest by some Silas Reed, of course. How can I forget that name? It was Silas Reed, who sent out a policeman when we were in London Crown Court to threaten us and say that we would be arrested if we stayed. As it happened, we were on our way anyway. But I think we thought that, using your attack dog policeman to come and threaten some peaceful protesters, or peaceful, I won't even call us protesters, sitters, silent sitters, people there to say this is not what we should be. It's not how things should be done at all. If we say that we're a country with justice, we need to prove it, and at the moment we're not. It's not. It's a dereliction of the justice system.